Welcome to Thuzio with Scottie Pippen. And let's give it up for our esteemed moderator tonight, Mr. Teddy Greenstein. All right, Teddy, over to you.
So you played in, what did we say, seven All-Star games?
Yes, 7.
Great memories, any bad memories? What stands out from the actual games?
Well, my greatest memory was when I won the All-Star MVP in Minnesota. It was kind of my first time breaking out of the Michael Jordan shell. But it was actually nice. It was a great opportunity for me to go and really show my talent level. But I enjoyed all the All-Star games, even though I regretted being there. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of pride to be mentioned among some of the best players in the game.
All right, so since you mentioned MJ, I'm always been curious about this. Tell me, how did your relationship evolve over the years? And so let's go back to the beginning. When you joined the Bulls, how was he to you? How did you all get along?
I got to have a drink on that.
Me too.
When I first came to the Bulls, my relationship with Horace Grant was very close. We got drafted together. We flew on the same plane to come in. We had a press conference. So we immediately bonded like brothers. And we started working out together, and, we just grew, and we were inseparable. Michael had a little problem with that. And really, it was more of a problem with him and Horace. Horace and Michael really didn't really see eye to eye. Horace was a twin, so he believed in everything being equal. And there were days when Michael would play 45 minutes, maybe even 48 minutes, and Horace just didn't understand. The next day, Phil would tell Michael, "You don't have to practice." So Horace felt like that he was getting a special treatment. So that kind of put a little space in between our relationship. But it kind of made it difficult for me to balance my relationship with Horace, but also try to be Michael's friend too. So as time passed, my relationship with Horace was still strong, but as Horace became a free agent, he just decided he didn't want to be here anymore. And my relationship with Michael, I guess, came a little closer because I was kind of the player that had the longest tenure as far as playing here with him.
Did you get any preview when Michael walked away? Or were you as dumbfounded as the rest of us?
I was dumbfounded as the rest of you guys. It was a surprise. It was pretty shocking. I thought we were the best in the world, and, we just couldn't be stopped, and we were at such a dominant level. Like, why would you, turn this down? But he had other things going on in his life that he had to deal with, and still to this day we don't know what those issues were, why he left the game.
Well, and how about the 2 seasons when you were the alpha male, when you were the guy? Was that enjoyable? I mean, you had all the pressure on you then, and you guys played great, and Hugh Hollins posed you. But in general, how was that stretch for you? Did you enjoy it?
It was the most enjoyable time of my NBA career at that time. I enjoyed playing with Michael, don't get me wrong, and winning, that's the ultimate goal. But it was an opportunity for me to really have a team of my own and to be able to kind of see where I would put myself in the league amongst other superstars. And I felt like we had a great season, 2 seasons.
Totally. Did Michael... Did he sort of come to you and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about coming back," or did he just come back?
No, he didn't come to me and say nothing. He started like...
He's not very collaborative, it doesn't sound like.
You know what? That second year he was out, you could see, now that I know this, you could see like it was starting to pull him back in because he started to stop by practice, and then he'll, come to a game. So he was starting to feel like he was missing us more than we were missing him.
Oh, that's great. And then the 3 championships when you were together, which of those 3 stands out, or were they all equally enjoyable?
they're always enjoyable, but you know, I always say that nothing can top the first three, but the last three with Dennis Rodman, nothing could top that. You know, even looking back in '96 when we won 72 games, I don't know how we did it. Like, we had the biggest party animal on our team. I mean, when you go out with Dennis, this dude order, and the waitress come out with a tray full of drinks. And this all night, around the clock.
How did you handle that, man?
It was fun, man.
Did Phil let you guys blow off practice or shoot around the following morning if you guys were out till 4 or 5, whatever?
You know what, man? Phil Jackson was the coolest coach ever. I mean, he fucking got it. Seriously. Playing for Phil, he rewarded you. You win. We didn't practice. You know, that was the beauty of that year. Like, we were so mature to the fact, like, Phil just let us, we did what we wanted, be honest. We smoked cigars on the plane. Like, we were living the life.
One of the things you talked about with Kobe was you used the word curious to describe him. So was he a guy who asked you a lot of questions when he was playing?
All the time. You know, Kobe would call me and pick my brains. And it was amazing to know that he did that to a lot of players. He did it to people in all walks of life, whether it was a movie producer or someone that, you know, has the best written, best-selling author, whatever. Kobe was a very intelligent guy, and he believed in striving to be the best. And, you know, I hate that we didn't tell him how great he really was, because he strived so hard to be Michael Jordan. And when I go back and I look at his videos and I say to myself, damn, he was better than Michael Jordan, because he worked so hard. He put it in. This kid came out of high school. He didn't go play for North Carolina under a Dean Smith. Like, he worked at his craft, bilingual. Like, God bless his soul.
Amazingly well-rounded person. And did you remain friends with him? Did you?
Yeah, I remained friends with him. I mean, I would see him a few times out in L.A., whether it was at the gym, taking my kids. I used to take my kids to his Mamba gym and shoot. So, yeah, I mean, I live in L.A. now, so I was able to be around him. It was good to see the other side of Kobe. You know, we talk about Michael, but we don't really see Michael much. But Kobe was really starting to, like, bring himself out, spend time. You saw his love that he had teaching his daughter Gigi basketball and how he was into that. So it was good to see, like, the second coming of where this young man was headed.
I want to ask you about a guy who I perceive as an amazingly hard worker, Jimmy Butler, who we enjoyed here for a number of years. So when the Bulls made that trade, what do you remember thinking? Did you remember thinking that was good or not so smart?
I love Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler should still be with this organization. You
Jimmy
look
Butler
at
table over there. How you doing?
I mean, you look at what Jimmy Butler does to other teams. He went to Minnesota. He fought hard to try to get those young players to believe and work hard. What I love about Jimmy Butler is no one knew who the heck Jimmy Butler was. He's worked very hard to become the superstar that he is today. And the teammates feed off of that. I mean, look how the Miami Heat are playing. Who thought the Miami Heat would be like one of the top 2 teams in the East? It's all because of Jimmy Butler and the culture that he carries around with him. And I give a lot of credit to the Miami Heat organization, because they built that kind of culture, but they embrace a guy like Jimmy Butler because that's what they bleed. They bleed that a guy that works hard and can get his teammates to buy into it.
It's funny. I think some people in the Bulls organization, they were calling him Hollywood, and they felt like he started as a humble kid and then became full of himself. But, I mean, the results are amazing.
Hey, we all do.
Get a little full of ourselves.
If you work hard and you become a player that can rise to the occasion,
Yeah.
then your ego gonna rise with it, and that's what the Bulls weren't able to deal with. But Jimmy Butler's a superstar,
Absolutely.
and they had him pretty much for cheap. They should have kept him.
Scottie, if you could relive one moment, would it be the nasty facial dunk on Ewing, followed up by telling Spike to sit his butt down, or winning the '94 All-Star MVP?
Oh, it'd be '94 MVP.
Why?
It was a great time. I told someone in the back that I was in Minnesota. It was cold, just like Chicago. And me and a buddy, we was up playing cards, and we were playing for drinks. And I got drunk that day. And I had to go to the game, but, it was All-Star weekend. It was my break. But I had a few cocktails and went and played that game, and it was one of the greatest games I ever played in.
Time out. Were you drinking Saturday the night before or Sunday the day of?
I was drinking Sunday the day of, all the way up into game time.
All right, so all of us could do our jobs better if we drink a few hours before?
But, hey, that was nothing. I played with Dennis. He was drunk every game.
He and Keith Richards. It's kind of a miracle. All right. Second question is from a guy named Justin Zimmerman of ProShares. You are generally considered one of the greatest defensive players to ever play the game. Who in today's game would you like to have the opportunity to guard? It's a good question.
LeBron James.
Ooh. How would you deal with him?
I don't know. It would have been great. I would have loved to play against LeBron in his career. He's a difficult player, man. He's a Karl Malone with the skills of a Magic Johnson. But I would have loved to embrace the challenge. He'd probably kick my ass, though. I mean, the dude putting in, 17 years, and he's in his 5th year.
I mean, that dunk he had the other day, it was like the Kobe-like dunk. That was amazing.
I think everything he's doing is inspired by Kobe right now. Like, I've seen a changed LeBron since the passing of Kobe.
When people have asked you, LeBron or MJ, who would you take? What do you say?
I'm taking MJ all day, every day.
That is a very popular answer. Absolutely. Why? Why?
I mean, I've had so much success with him. Why not? I mean, that's my only choice. We bonded. We're brothers. We're family. We're the best. We were the best.
Guys, thank you so much, Scottie. That was spectacular.
Sure, thank you, guys.
so
a
much.
pleasure.